We've all been there, right? That light bulb moment, that flash of a brilliant idea that feels like it could absolutely change the game. But how do you actually get from that spark to a real successful product? Well, that's what we're digging into today. The blueprints that turn great ideas into reality. But first, let's tackle the big, scary question that I'm sure keeps a lot of innovators up at night. Why on earth do so many new products fail? I mean, even the ones that seem incredible on paper. It's a huge fear, but the answer is, believe it or not, surprisingly simple. That's it. They lack a blueprint. Without a structured plan, a clear path to follow from concept all the way to the customer, even the most genius idea can just get lost. It can get too expensive, or it can completely miss what people actually want. This shows that success isn't just about luck. It's about having the right framework in place. Okay, so where do we even begin with a blueprint like that? Well, it starts with a mindset, not a checklist, not a process, a mindset. It's all about design thinking, which means focusing on the one thing that truly matters, the person you're trying to help. At its core, design thinking is a way to solve those messy, complex problems by putting human needs first, last, and everywhere in between. It's a total perspective shift. So instead of asking, what can we build? You start by asking, what problem are we really solving for someone? Now, this mindset is guided by these 5 phases: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. But, and this is super important, don't think of this as a rigid step-by-step list. It's more like a loop. You might test a prototype and have a huge realization that sends you all the way back to the empathize phase. It's all about learning and adapting on the fly. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It gets right to the heart of why empathy is so incredibly crucial. Without really deeply understanding the people you're designing for, you're basically just making something that looks pretty but doesn't solve a real problem. And meaningful innovation, well, it has to be rooted in real human experience. And you can see how this plays out with huge companies. Look at Netflix. They didn't just improve how they mailed DVDs, they empathized with our desire for instant convenience, and that led them directly to streaming. Or Airbnb. They realized the biggest problem wasn't a lack of rooms, it was a lack of trust. So they solved for trust with things like professional photos and reviews. You see, empathy isn't just some soft skill, it's a powerful strategic advantage. All right, so once you have that human-centered mindset locked in, you need a roadmap. This is where a structured process becomes your best friend, giving you a clear, tangible path from that initial idea all the way to launch day. A couple of the most popular roadmaps are the general engineering design process and the more specific stage gate model. Now, while both give you a path forward, the stage gate model, which you can see here as a kind of funnel, is specifically designed to manage risk by breaking the journey into distinct phases with very clear decision points. The secret sauce of the stage gate model is its rhythm. It breaks the whole project into stages. That's where your team is heads down, doing the actual work, research, building, testing. But after each stage, you hit a gate. Think of this as a formal checkpoint where the decision makers review everything and make a critical choice. Go and commit more resources, or kill the project before any more money is spent. It brings some serious discipline to the table. So you've got the mindset, and you've got a clear roadmap. But to create a truly great product, there's one more layer you need: the professional polish. This is where Design for Excellence, or DFX, comes in. It's the secret to making sure your brilliant idea actually works in the real world. DFX is a really simple but powerful idea. It's a set of guidelines where the X is a variable you can swap out depending on your goal. So that X stands for a specific objective you're designing for, and it forces you to think about the product's entire life from the moment it's created to the day it's thrown away. So what can X actually be? Well, pretty much anything. As you can see, you could design for manufacturability to make sure it can be built efficiently. Or you could design for cost to hit a specific price point. You can focus on reliability, safety, or even the environment. Each X makes you ask really specific questions and forces you to make deliberate choices that make the final product that much better. And the impact? It can be absolutely massive. This isn't just a theory. I mean, look at this number. One manufacturer saved over $1 million every single year just by applying design for manufacturability. That's the power of thinking about the X from the very, very beginning. It's not an afterthought, it's a core part of the design. Whew, okay. We've covered a lot of ground. A mindset,
a roadmap, and a method for that pro-level polish. But how do all these pieces actually fit together? Let's pull it all into a single, complete toolkit for any innovator out there. Okay, this is maybe the most important takeaway of all. Design thinking, stage gate, and DFX, they aren't competing against each other. You don't pick just one. As this slide says, they are complementary layers of a complete innovation blueprint. Each one serves a totally different but equally vital purpose. This innovation performance framework shows it perfectly. Your process, something like stage gate, is the engine. But that engine needs to be supported by a clear innovation strategy, by strong leadership, and by smart portfolio management. It's when all these elements are working together that you create a system that can really perform at a high level. So, to recap your blueprint, start with the right mindset, using design thinking to solve real human problems. Then use a roadmap like StageGate to chart a clear, disciplined path to launch. And finally, apply the polish of DFX to make sure your product is designed for real-world success from every single angle. Together, these frameworks provide the structure you need to turn imagination into impact. Your next great idea is out there, just waiting for you. The only question is, which tools will you use to build it?